Hey, everybody, you're listening to the only podcast that believes in the 5 P's: proper preparation prevents poor performance, the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm not reading
Fuck
off the
you,
script.
that
This
was
is
great.
the Chipmunk. With me, as always, the Mr. Gimpy. Let's go, champ.
This
What's
man
happening?
woke up, wrote a script, and wanted
Chose
to just
violence.
show me up, dude. Just wanted to show
There's
me
no
up.
script, dude. Off the cop.
Hold on, back up a little bit, dude. Like physically, back up a little bit. Is this man wearing his own merch? The Chipmunk, dude.
How dare you call me out on this, dude?
God damn,
dude.
I love it. I love it. I need my own merch, dude.
Yeah, bro. We need a quick addendum to last week's podcast. That was not a paid advertisement for the Zoa energy drink. They didn't have to give us any money to tell you it tasted like awful shit, dude.
They didn't. They didn't have to give us any money. They should have. They should have.
Dude. Listen, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, if you need a couple of honest gentlemen to like taste your stuff, for not for free, you're gonna have to pay us money. But we'll come in, we'll take, because like obviously you should have just paid us for drinking how awful that drink was.
Yes.
But like if you wanted to, like, I would be willing to do that. I'd fly out and like to wherever your labs are and like test out different flavors for you and be like, listen, as a man, a fat man, I can give you
the labs.
the labs, dude. All that stuff comes out in chemical vats, bro. There's none of that's. They're not squeezing oranges, bro, to get that delicious.
Oh, good
they're not,
God, no.
They're not cracking open coconuts, bro. That's like a chemical flavoring compound that they spin up in a vat, dude.
The energy they give you is this back sweat from the rock that they just squeeze off with a squeegee. We drank rock sweat, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's worth it. Honestly, it would have probably tasted better if it was rock sweat, dude.
Anything they could have done tasted better. I think we said it last week, man. Eating ass would have tasted better than that drink.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I just wanted to have like a quick addendum. Also, I'm going to throw out some quick drama. Internet drama.
Oh, whoa. All right.
Like, I don't know. I was like trying to contact somebody and it like showed up as a blocked contact. And that contact was you, Mr. Gimpy. Yeah, this morning.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And so like in my head, I'm like, what could I have said to Mr. Gimpy?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. It was like, I tried to like hit you up on the cell phone. You know how normally you're like, what could I have possibly said to upset this person to block me off phone? But I was like in the opposite. I was like, damn, what was it that I said? That put it over the edge. Not like what possibly could I have done, but like, oh, what was it? You know, I threw out so much wild shenanigans.
Dude, you are not blocked at all, dude. Did you try to call me or
I sent a text message, bro. I was like, this person has you blocked, bro. I'll send you a screenshot after this.
Okay.
I just assumed it was like
we texted yesterday.
I know, dude. So I was like, man, I was like, damn, I could see why he would do that.
I wonder if, because so my phone's on Do Not Disturb before my alarm comes off. So I wonder if it was on Do Not Disturb and it's like, fuck you.
Yeah, it was just like we're blocking out all incoming calls.
I thought it just like muted all of my contacts, though. It didn't.
I don't know.
Unless, I mean, my kids had my phone too, unless they just started blocking people like, fuck Chipmunk. And they,
it was just on there. I don't know. Whatever. It's throwing out the drama.
But I'm curious, I was like,
though, I was like,
if someone's blocked, they wouldn't, like, you wouldn't want to tell them they're blocked, right? It would just, the message would just go into like the
void.
Yeah.
I'd almost prefer it that they tell you that you're blocked. Like, this person wants nothing to do. Like, all right, that's understandable. I get it.
But if you see that person in real life sometimes, right? They're like, hey, man, I've been texting you, right? And they're like, I never got it. It's like, because he blocked me, motherfucker, right? So it seems like it starts more drama.
I don't need the drama, dude. It's like, I would understand why, like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson blocks me, dude. Like, if I try to hit him up or whatever. But
that's true.
Even with Mr. Gimpy, like, any of my friends, if they're like, yeah, I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'd still even consider them friends. Like, that's how.
They're like, blocked me. I don't.
Yeah,
kind of an asshole. I get it.
I throw out like random, just trains of thought. You know,
you did throw out some controversial statements and drop some harsh words yesterday, but
yeah, bro, like
drop you.
We finished the last podcast and we're just sitting here hanging out and like we're just like, yeah, it's a pretty great podcast, man. Went really well. And like also, like, I'm just here, just flexing, like, Mr. Gimpy's like, well, you know, we're not recording. I'm like, yeah, bro, you're getting flexed on. You're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm flexing on you, dude. Actually, you're like, but you don't have any muscles. And I'm like, yeah, dude, don't worry about it. I was like, that was fucking mean too, bro. You didn't have to go there. And you're like, all right, then have a good night.
I'm out of here.
Just like slowly backed away and shut off. I was like, yeah, I can see why I could get blocked, dude. You throw out somebody just random things and see what hangs, what sticks.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Must
So
have
what you
been
been
a
up to,
reason,
bro?
dude. I
You
don't
been
know.
getting up to anything?
Actually, we've spoke about this a few times on the pod. My favorite like horror movie franchise is The Evil Dead, which
Yeah.
comprises of Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2,
Just
Army
had
of
a new box
Darkness,
set drop.
Ash versus the Evil Dead. Yes, they did have the new box set, which I pre-ordered. So I don't
All
know.
right.
Think I have it yet. I haven't checked my mail in like 4 days, so that's like the
It's just
problem.
hanging
But
out there.
yeah, well, because the mail keys on my wife's keys and mine
Oh.
I don't have the mailbox key, so I'm like, one day I'll probably check it after this pod. Actually, now that I mention it,
It's there.
but yeah. So, but yeah, that's my favorite horror franchise. So a new
Bruce
game came
Campbell
out. Yep.
making a star appearance in into the multiverse with Doctor Strange, dude.
Yes, he did.
You're selling
So
pizza hitters, dude. Those little pizza
I haven't
balls.
seen it. I haven't seen the movie
Oh,
yet. So
spoilers, dude. He's selling
spoilers,
pizza balls,
hitters.
dude.
Okay. But yeah. So a new Evil Dead game came out, and being a fan of the franchise, I typically will play the games as well. They range from pretty neat Resident Evil clone to a just god awful like wave shooter kind of a thing, right? But some games are actually pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
So this game kind of takes like the Dead by Daylight formula, which I typically don't like asymmetrical multiplayer games, but this one there's actual true combat. The gunplay actually feels really good. There's location-based damage. There's a lot of Evil Deadisms that are really good, like playing as the Kandarian demon. You're in spirit form, and like the famous Sam Raimi camera where it's kind of twisted, it goes super fast at you. That's the camera you use for the spirit. So it seems pretty great. And one thing was when the spirit goes past like fences and stuff, it will pull up the fences. So that happens in the game, which feels really Evil Dead. So there's that. The survivors actually so far are pretty fun. Your goals in the map is to like find like map pieces to find the Necronomicon to put it together, or the Kandarian dagger to rid the world of the Dark Ones, right? So they take like the plots of the movies, plots of the TV show, kind of combine them together in the game. So it's actually made by Saber Interactive, who are usually make like movie tie-in games or that shoot for the moon and they look good, but they're trash typically. They have no staying power. Like the World War Z game, I believe they made. For off the top of my head, this one's actually it's surprisingly fun and surprisingly well made so far in my 2 days of owning it. So I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll stream it. Right. I don't know if I will stream it, but I'm enjoying it off stream right now. So we'll see what happens.
Great smaller studios that do like workman like licensing deals like that. That's how we got was it Diablo? Like the guys were making like Aladdin ports, like Disney games and stuff for like Sega. They're porting over games, and then they're like, "Hey man, let's take a look at this game we're working on. It's called Diablo." And that's how we got like that's how we got Blizzard came to be. So I never count out like smaller studios that do licensing games. I think like it's a hard gig. They usually pays the bills, and I feel like the bar keeps getting higher as well, because like back in the day, like nobody, like it was just expected that all these like movie franchise games would be shit. Like if you had like a cartoon or something, you're like, oh, we're gonna put out like this game. You're like, this is gonna be gone. If it has like a JLM or like Acclaim, like those early, this is gonna be rough, dude. On the Nintendo, bro. Like there's just certain like logos and brands where you're just like, I don't think so. Yeah, they made home improvement games, like
exactly.
It was wild, bro.
Home improvement game where you're Tim the Toolman Taylor throwing hammers at things, right?
It's like giant hammers and stuff, dude. The things, the whole game, every Sega Super Nintendo game's a fever dream, but those games were especially so, dude, because it's you're taking like live characters and then like you're abstracting it into like a platformer for some reason. But it's like
popular at the time, right? There'd be a home improvement FPS, or no, there'd be a home improvement MOBA right now,
No, I think it would be like a Garage or something, you know what I'm saying? Like the mechanic simulator.
Mechanic simulator, yeah.
Yeah, but you make like overpowered tools. Yeah, like add more power, and you like have to grunt when your microphone picks it up.
True.
Be something like that. So yeah, man, that's kind of cool that they're making Evil Dead games now. Like,
yeah. I mean, they've been, they've never not made them, but they've been few and far between. So
yeah, and then like a good one's even further and farther between.
Yes.
I don't know. I've always been a semi fan of the Evil Dead. I like watched the first two movies. Like that was good. I never like it. Never had like that staying power with me where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like I tell other people about this little known movie people don't know about. Where I'm like, it's cool. And I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's because of where we grew up. Maybe it's more scene kids. But like everybody I knew like growing up was like more into independent movies and stuff. So like everybody had seen like all the cult classics.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it to me it was just like something everybody watches.
Yeah. For me with that movie, man, like I saw The Exorcist 1 week because back in the days of Blockbuster, I remember it very clearly. The first horror movie I ever saw was Friday the 13th or Halloween. I saw them both on like the same like weekend.
For me, it was Rosemary's Baby.
Okay. Wow, seeing that as a kid, that movie's pretty like psychological.
Yeah, it's terrifying, dude.
Lot of conversation, really. Conversation and scene.
It's more like just it's more abstract and like you have to think about like to. It's
there's
crazy.
Definitely some demonic imagery, but that's crazy to see that as a kid. I was bored to tears by it as a kid, but then as an adult when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is good.
No, that movie had me enthralled. I think maybe that's because I think that's part and parcel why I'm deep into conspiracy theory culture. Where I think that like got me into it. Where I'm like, oh man, devil worshipper, this is crazy. And then I'm like, this might be real. But to me, it's always been a fantastical thing. Like I was explaining to our other buddy this morning when we're on the bicycles biking, playing Hearthstone, where he was like telling me like, yeah, man, these guys were talking about conspiracy theories. You would have really liked them. And I'm like, to me, it's an enjoying. I look at it as a part of entertainment. Like it's like if you're like deep into the Lord of the Rings, like you don't think that the fucking Shired and shit is real. Like you're like, oh, this is like a fun character thing. Like for me, that's like all conspiracy theories where I'm like, oh, this is like a fun, fantastical thing I can like enjoy. And I'm not so naive to be like, oh, there's no conspiracies real or anything. Like there's definitely like people conspire to do things, but like it's mostly mundane, boring shit where they're fixing prices to gouge you like on like consumer goods, dude. Like
for sure.
It's dumb shit like that. It's nothing like, they're doing all this stuff. It's like, not really. But yeah, man, Rosemary's Baby shook me up, man. What we said were the first two you watched was Evil Dead
and 13th and Halloween were my first, and that's why I love the slasher genre. But no movie. Well, Friday the 13th, part 1, the very end of that movie. That was like my first jump scare. Fucking stuck with me. That was fantastic. But Evil Dead, or Exorcist and Evil Dead were movies where they stuck with me when I was going to bed. It's like you're in a room by yourself. It's dark. And you're like, oh shit. So yeah, and Evil Dead, like the first movie, my sister and we rented it so many times, dude. Like we would just go and get the tape, and my parents would allow us to rent one movie a week. So that movie like basically was like they're like, you guys have to rent something different. I'm sick of watching it. It's like we both were scared by it, but we both loved it. And that movie actually started it ignited my love for the art of film, because I thought the makeup effects were great. And then finding out more and reading more about the movie, finding out how much it was made for, how just fucking the entrepreneurial spirit of Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, Bruce Campbell, all these guys, Robert Tapert, to go in and get this done. And then watching Evil Dead 2, finding out they didn't have the rights to Evil Dead 1, so they had to remake the first movie at the beginning of Evil Dead 2, was absolutely incredible. And I thought, wow, this is great. So
never give up the master copies, dude. Hold on to them rights.
And then, Hercules and Xena were out. Sam Raimi made those. Ted Raimi was in those.
Bruce Campbell,
and I'm like,
guest appearances.
Bruce Campbell was in those,
They had the spin-off series with him, with the King of the Thieves, dude.
Yep.
Or whatever it was.
They tried to have he was supposed to have a... He had... It was...
a few episodes, dude. I watched them.
No, not that. There was it was a different show. It was... Jack of all trades. It was, which wasn't his...
main character,
his Xena character. It was a new show because he was
kind of in there.
British. But
I watched it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. But Bruce Campbell's awesome.
I'm not part of the team that feels like Bruce Campbell deserves like a leading role, dude. I know there's like a large.
He works for what he's given.
I think I enjoyed him in King of Motet, where he played like the Elvis.
Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, Bubba Hotep. Hell yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah,
we used to a guy who was a fake Elvis impersonator, but he was actually Elvis, and like he
Yes.
paid somebody an actual Elvis impersonator to like switch places with him because he was sick of being famous.
Yes.
So he's like, I'm just gonna be like a fake Elvis, but I'm actually Elvis, and like it's a great movie. It's fun.
It's fantastic. Yeah. His book is called like My Name is Bruce: The Life of a B Movie Actor or whatever, which he's right, but I think that he works for what he's given, and I like the guy a lot. He seems like a fun time.
It feels like he just was like the wrong generation of movie actors.
He's like a 40s leading man, isn't he? Right, like a Cary Grant type.
I would say he would do better even today now, because like you see guys who are given more play and allowed to be more of like a goofy leading man, especially with like all the Marvel movies and stuff that are out. Like he would like you could fit a young Bruce Campbell into like like a Star-Lord role easily or something like a Chris Pratt.
He was for the Spider-Man 4, Sam Raimi was going to do Mysterio, and Bruce Campbell was rumored to be Mysterio.
Yeah.
So
I think he's too lovable to be that guy, but no. Mysterio came off like he was also doing the lovable take out Mysterio. So
Josh Gyllenhaal or Jake Gyllenhaal,
yeah,
exactly,
man. Bruce, he's a B movie actor. I don't know. I think like he would have been. It's not a disparaging thing, man.
Burn Notice. He was Sam Axe. Have you watched Burn Notice?
Yeah, Burn's great in that.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're a spy, Burn Notice game would be dope, dude. Like a spy video game.
Yeah.
It'd be almost like a GTA mod. Like somebody get on a GTA 5 Burn Notice mod, where you just run around doing the spy shit.
Right, for sure. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. Just
rumored doing a Burn Notice movie at some point too. It's one of those things like they're always in the talks of like,
this
technically
one already because The Fall of Sam Axe was a movie, but I think they even did it as like 2 episodes like combined. But
who knows, man? Like they had like that Veronica Mars Kickstarter movie.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. I really like the Veronica Mars series.
So I'm saying, like, the fans, if you put your money where your mouth is, man, get these people to make it. So make it, dude.
True. But yeah, man. So the controversial thing, I'll look into that because I didn't block you.
It's still bugging you, dude. That's living rent free in your head now.
It is. But yeah, the Evil Dead game. That's what I've been playing. Yeah, man. So today, I do want to talk about some industry news. Square Enix sold off a good chunk of their Western properties.
Yeah, they're Western developers.
Yeah,
the whole studios and the
Crystal Dynamics is gone. Who make Tomb Raider, Deus Ex. They sold that license off. I think those are the biggest one. There's something else. They kept Hitman. They actually kept Hitman.
That makes sense, man. Hitman's been turning a profit, dude. They almost made like a service style game, and like maybe this is just showing that they're doubling down on services and mobile games.
They also Legacy of Kain series was sold.
Yeah, it sounded like that was the big murmurs. Was like the people who bought up that specifically said like they think they can do big things with that property.
They could, because I missed that series, dude. That series was phenomenal, I thought.
But did the young folks give a fuck about Kain Legacy, bro? Like,
not yet, but they will.
I don't know, man. I think it's an action 3D platformer. Like you're going around snatching souls, like you're vampire. Like it's a lot of really good deep lore. Like I would feel like property would almost be better as a movie, like a horror movie.
That'd
you know
cool.
what I'm saying?
I'd watch a Legacy of Kain horror movie.
Or like even like a series, like a TV series, like horror film. Like
a series would be awesome, dude. Especially if you follow Kain to Raziel to that's so interesting, dude.
Yeah, make me like an anime. You give it like a what was it? Was it Vampire Hunter D? Yeah, Castlevania. It was like in the style of Vampire Hunter D. Yeah, Castlevania. How they got like their own anime. Right? Hellsing. Yeah, fit right in there. If we could give them like an anime, like a I'd be more interested in that instead of a 3D platformer personally.
Truly you could take Kain himself and make you could do like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of a deal with him, right? Because you start off playing as Kain. You start off and you're the good guy, at first. Then he gets like, as the games progress, he's more and more corrupt, dude. It's absolutely incredible. If you guys don't know about the Legacy of Kain series, it has its fans for a reason. It's so underrated, man. I feel like you, myself, Professor, and Intoxicated Fable are the only ones who know about that series in my own personal life. My sister as well, because growing up together, she's like, I'm like, play this. She's like, okay, it's awesome. So, but you could definitely spin it off from Kane to Raziel, the Soul Reaver franchise, and keep it going, dude. You could have 10 years of shit.
Yeah,
with
of
the
episodes.
Legacy of Kain series. Yeah,
series, like deep series, or like even like games. Yeah, man, there's a lot of potential there. I don't think it's like the big tadpole though that they're like trying to like hype it up for. I wonder what they paid for it, because I'm hoping they got it fairly cheap, because Square Enix hasn't done anything with it. I'd rather see somebody make a fumble attempt at trying to make something new and interesting with the IP than it just sitting in a vault for Square Enix to be like, whoa, this is worth hundreds of millions of fictional bucks, dude. Like I don't see how companies I don't understand evaluations, honestly. Like to me, I'm kind of like old school, where it's like worth whatever anyone's willing to pay for it, cash money. Whereas like they're like, well, theoretically this is worth $100 million. It's like, no, it's not worth anything. You're not putting out any product. You're not keeping like the name alive. Like you're killing like goodwill that does exist, because like everybody who would be interested in like a remake or a relaunch is like aged out of like that core demographic. Like sure, some of them are going to come back, but like you're not going to reach a new audience doing that. Like so it's weird. It's weird to me that they'd be like, well, it's worth this much, and I guess it is if somebody's willing to pay for it.
I feel that well, let me touch on why Square Enix did this first. It was to get into the crypto game, but crypto and NFT game, which is what the fuck are you doing? But as far as like the Legacy of Kain series, and I'm just definitely surprised they gave up Tomb Raider, because that franchise just prints money. I don't know why you would do that. That one was weird to me, because that one definitely is a cash cow.
Or if you want to go deep into a chip conspiracy theory, there was a Square Enix publisher sale on Steam, like right before this happened. I want to say like a few months before. There's like a big, like almost like a clearance thing, because I remember
on Humble Bundle is like on every major store. Yeah.
So I'm thinking they pumped it out like on like super sale, because like you could pick up like Legacy of Kain for like $1. Like I almost bought it like just to give. I was like, I'm not sure if the professor has this. I was like, maybe I should just buy whatever. If you have 2 copies,
Soul Reaver too. Yeah, for sure.
And then I was like, I know he's busy, whatever. Like it's $2. I'm sure he already has it if he wanted it. But like all the games were like less than $5. Like all these like old things. So I'm thinking they just took the sales figures from like those Humble Bundles and like the Steam sale, and they're like, all right, what's going on? Is anybody interested in like these IPs? And then they're like, we burned out like anybody who want the, like they just squeezed the last drops of juice out of that orange. And then they're like, all right, this is it. This was the bottom of the V-shaped curve or whatever for money we could make off these old IPs
without putting more
money. And, yep. Okay. And I think after that, they're like, we're going to double tap it with this, just selling them all off wholesale and making the most amount of money. So they're like, they sold off everybody. They're like, anybody who would actually want a copy of this already owns a copy of it. And now we're just going to sell it to somebody else. And now they're stuck with like basically a lemon, dude.
Do you know who picked up Deus Ex?
No. Wasn't it like separate too? Like the studio went one way and like the IP went another way. So
really?
I think was it Microsoft?
I hope it was Microsoft, because I was thinking Square Enix kind of shit the bed with Human Revolution and Human Revolution 2. I think as far as being a true feeling Deus Ex game, because there wasn't enough freedom. That that series has never matched the first game. But I thought like someone like Obsidian or Bethesda, if they don't use their shitty Gamebryo engine, could do that series justice. So
what's the studio that did Fallout? New Vegas?
Bethesda. Oh, New Vegas, Obsidian.
Yeah. Obsidian, yeah, give it
so exactly, yeah, right? That just makes sense, right? There's some franchises where you're like, okay, that makes sense. Why wouldn't you already have this? Like it makes sense.
I'm sure they're working on their own ideas too. It's like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'll take this and make something cool. And it's like, we're already making our own cool stuff, dude. We don't need other people's toys, man. Right. We got cool stuff we're doing already. But like, yeah, it's like kind of like the dream team if you could combine it. Yeah, man. Deus Ex. I wasn't a huge fan. I got like hard locked at one place because like I was trying to play like a certain game type mode, and I didn't put any points into like shooting combat. And then they're like, oh yeah, now you have to go through like a scripted shooting combat sequence. And I was like, my guy is severely underleveled and underpowered for this. So the only way to get by this is to like just cheat to like unlock the rest. Because like try to like parcel out. So what happened? I think
what you have, because you could hack into things. You could hack into like the robots to shoot for you. I played through that game as a full like hacker, and I know the scenario you're talking about. It was like when you get caught doing the assassination and you have to escape, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's around there.
You could have stealthed it, and you can like hack robots and the security turrets and just kite people in there. And you may have been like not thinking outside of the box.
Yeah,
enough,
I was just like, there's
just like too young and not,
naive, young and naive.
Yeah.
It could be,
but go on, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I was like, you just have to be patient.
I don't know, maybe I was in like a middle build too between like stealth and hacking, where like it couldn't do either efficiently enough to escape, like, or like without getting caught into some gun violence. And I was like,
sure,
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like to me, it just kind of like broke the sequence of the way I had been playing, and like I just got frustrated. I was like, I'm done with this.
Sure.
It's fun. It was a gorgeous looking game for the time.
Yeah.
It kind of boiled down like a lot of the bigger Deus Ex ideas into like just nonsense, where they're like, oh, what's making human is human, bro. Like robots, right? Am I right, dude? So I like gave up on like the Illuminati, the world order. Like there's so many like other like the corporate conspiracy.
The corporate conspiracy is what it was.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. I was like at that time when that game came out, I was really into spy shit. So yeah, that works out. That was at a time where I was watching every single James Bond movie. Just for fun, because like we had like the VHS,
the Sean Connery dude,
or whatever. Yeah, we went from Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan at the time, and yeah, it's good shit.
Nice.
Good shit, dude.
Classics, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. We're just talking about the Austin Powers series the other day, man.
Yeah, fantastic, dude.
It's wild,
fantastic. But
yeah, I don't know, man. A good Deus Ex game. I don't know what to do, because like Cyberpunk almost feels like a spiritual
was trying to be it.
Yeah, successor.
Yeah,
but and that game kind of sucked, like for the most part. Like it told a good story. It's a solid like 8-hour experience. Like if you just do the story mode, but like if you go into it expecting anything else, like any deeper touching on the philosophical sense of consciousness or like what it means to be human, like you're not going to get it. Like it does everything very surface level. There's no like deeper undertones to it, and then all the multi-path, multi-choice are very like cookie cutter. Once you like start seeing like, oh, this is the sneak path, oh, this is the hack path, like once you start noticing like the hard paths, like you can't unsee it, and it like it's that way the entire game through. Like it doesn't defer.
The first Deus Ex, dude, like it was so open, and they did it so perfectly on the first go, like it's absolutely incredible, because you don't see the sneak path in Deus Ex. You just do it. You just make that path, I think right now, in terms of the stealth genre, which we talked about before, and maybe Square Enix sees something in it, the Hitman franchise, dude, they're doing stealth the best right now. They're doing creativity the best, like player creativity the best within your sandbox. I'm so curious why they kept Hitman and then got rid of every other Western studio. It's incredible. But yeah, they did it to get into the NFT and the crypto game. I think this is a weird thing that us in the West don't realize about Japanese publishers is these publishers are not are not just game studios.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff.
Square Enix, I believe, has an anime division. I think they actually have like a physical presence as well. I think they do some manufacturing. I could be wrong on that. That might be Konami, but
it's like even all these Sony, where they make chips and like music speakers. They like manufacture hardware, software, suits for like industry. Like they do a lot of stuff, and like it's always like the thing where like, oh, what do you think? Is Sony going to lose the console wars? Like they don't care. That's such a small sliver of their business, dude. Like it's like same with like Microsoft as well. Like Microsoft does a lot more than just Xbox, guys. Like you may not know this.
Exactly. So the only true like big player that is just a game studio in the Japanese sector is Nintendo. They're the only ones who bet the farm on gaming, and they didn't start off as a game studio. They were making what what, pinball, right, or something like that.
Yeah, they
Pinball
started
and
with
pachinko or
playing
something like
cards.
that? Playing cards, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they went
yeah.
into pachinko and like other amusements for bars and stuff, and
Yep.
it escalated from there. But yeah, man, deep ties with the Yakuza.
What?
Just throwing that out.
Just
Just throwing
conspiracy
that out.
theories.
Yeah, just conspiracy theories. Yeah, man.
It's
Nintendo is
hilarious.
the Yakuza.
All
You
right,
heard it first.
when Chip's comments do not represent the
For entertainment
the
purposes
thoughts or
only.
views of the Combo Wombo. He is on his own.
Yeah, just put me out on the ledge, bro. I'll walk out there, bro.
All right, man, that's why you're blocked.
Yeah, it makes sense, dude. I get it. Hitting you up at 3 a.m. Like, just look into this NFT token, bro.
Yeah, man. So, what do you think about this, dude? What do you think, like, Square's doing? Do you think they're just diversifying? Do you think that?
Yeah, I've
I
said it
think that-
before where NFTs and like crypto makes sense from a platform perspective. Like, if you are have a platform to sell stuff as a storefront, like that's the only place it makes sense if you're owning the transaction chain, because it's basically just a way to do like money transactions, right? If you think about like how there's always processing fees, like if you use like a credit card or like you use an ATM, there's like a bank processing fee or like a credit card processing fee. They usually take like 1% to 2%. If you are a digital distributing platform and you also make the product, it makes sense because then you're in control of like every part of that transaction, and then you can also allow people to own a digital copy of the game, whereas like right now you own the rights to use the game, right? You don't actually own the like if you bought a game, you have that game, you could like sell it or trade it to somebody else. Whereas if you buy a digital game, like you don't own that game, it's like in your digital locker, like you can never, technically if you get the terms of service, the TOS, like you're not supposed to sell it, trade it, give it to like a family member to use or anything. But people do all this stuff, but you're not supposed to in theory, and then they can like just shut down your entire account, so you never really truly own any individual piece of software. So it makes sense if you own that distributing platform to give your users a better experience where they can sell, trade, do whatever they want with the product. I think people kind of look at like these NFTs and shit as like nonsense because they've mostly been used for nonsense. It's a very novel idea, but if you just think of it more as a transactionary thing, a ledger, a digital ledger, then it starts to make more sense. Where it falls apart is like Steam tried like doing cryptocurrency and stuff, and they said like they're getting like up to like 50% of the transaction, Gabe said, were like just fake. They're like scams. So like imagine like 50% of your transactions are just bad transactions, dude. Like that's a hard sell. But what makes sense, instead of having the cryptocurrency, you have like the crypto product, and so like you have 100% guarantee that the transactions are real because you're usually turning real money into a digital product, which you're already doing. But this is just a better ledger for distributing the product.
I would say this to it. Personally, I dislike the idea of NFTs and things, except for this one aspect of it
that you own, the Combo Wombo NFT.
Digital rights management. So you touched on it a little bit, but I want to expand. Digital games, you don't own the game, you own the permission to use this game, right?
Yeah.
If the developer's servers go down and you had installed the game and those servers aren't available, you do not have that game anymore.
It's gone.
So with an NFT, if every single digital copy of a game was an NFT of, let me use this phrase because I know the larger scale of how NFTs work isn't exactly like this, but please stay with me here. If I buy a digital copy of, we were just talking about Deus Ex, right? If I buy a digital copy of Deus Ex right now, I have permission to have that game, right? If I buy a digital copy of the Deus Ex game as an NFT, I own that specific copy, which I can resell it on the used market for X amount of dollars. The company that gave me the NFT gets a chunk of that profit. So the used game market or publisher, right. The used game market, the big reason why like game devs and stuff like digital or like physical, but hate like the used market is because they can't get a cut of the used sales.
Taste that profit, dude.
With this in the digital side of it, they can get a copy or a cut of the used sale, right?
You just have to double dip with that honey.
So this would satiate the developers' wishes to always be able to make profit of these games, and it'll satisfy the wants of these collectors or people who are just trying to make a buck or something. If your game is getting to be rare, or something like that in physical, you could have a digital copy that can be cheaper, but higher up because you'll own it. So that's the difference.
And we're both kind of digital hoarders too. I feel like we have 100 plus games on our like Steam library. Imagine, yeah, 100 plus,
1,000. I have over
1,000. Easily. But yeah, I probably have close to that too. But like, yeah, imagine if we could just go through and like just like start cleaning out like some of the stuff we're just never gonna play again. We're like, all right, this was fun, but I'm done with it. Like maybe I can give joy to somebody else. Like do like a digital cleansing of our locker. That'd be nice. It makes sense. I don't think corporations are going to use it that way, though. Unfortunately, I think it's more going to be to lock down more control over their products and stuff. But again, that's the ideal world. Like you're like, what might they be thinking for Square Enix? I think they're thinking of it more as a cash grab. They're thinking of it more of like the gotcha market with the mobile game market. Like they're like, oh, we can, now it's an NFT that you pull from like this, digital slot machine that it has Final Fantasy characters and all your other Square Enix favorite characters that we have. And like you can pay us like $300 and you could maybe resell it somewhere in like on our marketplace. And so I think that's what they're really going for. They're thinking like a gotcha pull game where you can sell JPEGs to each other for like a profit, and then they just sit back as the middleman and collect it. But ideally, as a distributing ledger, that's the high level. I think the only people really thinking about that, right, is like Steam, and like they're only thinking of it as like a one-way transaction with cryptocurrency. They're not thinking about like a digital product because they don't actually own the games that they're distributing on their platform.
Yes,
you're gonna have to wait for somebody like Microsoft or Konami or a publisher distributor. Who else got one? Who does Dragon Age? Is that they're
Square
gone
Enix.
now? Yeah, Square Enix. Yeah, Square Enix. Like they have like their platform.
Dragon Age. I'm sorry, I thought you said Dragon Quest. Dragon Age is EA now, so BioWare.
Yeah, BioWare. They had like their Electronic Arts launcher,
Origin, which is going away.
Which is Origin. That's gone. It's kind of shit. But I had what's that game? Commander.
Well, they have EA Play, so it's like Origin now. But yeah, it's called EA Play.
What's the old
Supreme
game
Commander?
with the lion? Yeah, no, with the lion generals in space. Mark Hamill's in it. It's FMV.
Oh, Wing Commander.
Yeah, Wing Commander. I was like, Flight Commander, Wing Commander. Dude, I have my Wing Commander on Origin, and that's it. This is the only time I booted up. Is like, man, I could really play some Wing Commander right now.
Sounds fun, dude. I play that with my flight stick real quick.
Yeah, dude, it's a game.
Damn, Wing Commander's great. Reboot that, dude. Hashtag reboot Wing Commander, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like. Is there any good FMV space games that come out? I feel like that's like something an indie person would make. There was the one that was kind of like a tech demo with like the voice for VR with the lady.
Yeah.
And everyone was just pissed because like they're like, this is basically a tech demo. I was looking at like all the reviews bombed on it.
Yeah.
And then the game was on sale for like $6. It's like, maybe I should pick this up. And I was like, well, let me see what the developer's doing. And I went to his YouTube channel and like he was like doing Let's Plays and stuff of like different games. Like it seemed like he was not making games anymore. He was just chilling. Like he tried, man. I appreciate it.
For sure. That's one of the things with being an indie dev, dude. Like a lot of times you'll see indie devs playing games, like if even if you release one, if you're not like big into it, if you're not trying to make it a full career, if it's like a hobby, that's something like I think that the consumer doesn't get. It's like, yes, we released this game on an X platform. Yes, we released updates for it, but sometimes you're just trying to play something, man, and you want to
just live your life,
with
man.
the world.
Have some enjoyment. So
actually, I find that more refreshing because sometimes I feel like the AAA game developers don't play their own game.
Yeah, dude.
Or they don't play like the game or a game that inspired their game or something like that. I love it when some of the big guys will play something or mention something else going, this is a great game, and they don't mention cursory things, or surface level things. They mention something like deep into the game or whatever, where they played it. I believe like Undertale was one of those things where I heard actually one of the people from BioWare. They were talking on a trade show. They're like, and Undertale was my favorite game of the year. And then they did such a like in depth dive of it. You could tell they were gushing about it, and they absolutely loved the game. And they were trying to promote what was it? It wasn't Mass Effect. I can't remember what. It was probably Anthem that they were promoting, and then they're all
Yeah.
like no, I've been playing Undertale. That game is fucking amazing. It was like,
Yeah,
kudos, because Undertale is fucking amazing.
Did we talk about Sly Cooper, dude?
I mean, that's not a Square Enix property or anything.
No, but like just like as a game, kind of tangentially, like the third game in that, it just felt like they hadn't played like any of the previous games in the series. Like it just kind of like jumped the shark by the third game.
having the whole team.
Yeah, and then like the guy gets lost in Egypt at the end. Like it was weird, but it felt like that literally killed the franchise. It was like the developers not playing or understanding like the previous games are like what inspired it. They're like, yeah, we'll just throw something like
expand it a lot to. They were trying to, I believe, make a TV series.
Yeah, they're like now.
So they
I think
expanded the
right?
characters and stuff. No, not yet.
No,
Like,
at that time they're like, we're gonna make a cartoon or something.
They're one of the
It made sense
properties
it
that
had
Sony's
good writing.
looking at for a kids movie, which I think would actually be great. I'd watch a Sly Cooper movie. You know,
Yeah, I think I heard
enough characters and
murmurs
stuff.
of the rights to it going to the people who made the CGI movies for Sony, like one of the games or something. So I was like, ah,
It's actually Sony Entertainment's doing it. They own the rights. It's
Yeah,
Sony,
they own it. Like the
it's
studio
like their
that
gaming division,
made
but they have a movie thing.
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank. Yeah,
actual studio that made Sly Cooper's gone. They're on to other stuff. They're no longer working with studio. Like they don't own Sly Cooper. Stop asking them to make Sly Cooper on Twitter or whatever, dude. Like they don't own the rights to it.
I thought they did. I thought they're still a part. They're part of Sony. They're still part of Sony.
No, I think they got bought out, bro. I'm just gonna throw that out
I
there.
have to fact check this, dude. I have to interrupt the pod and fact.
Oh yeah, we're gonna pause
this,
that to fact check
dude,
Sly Cooper facts, dude.
Yeah,
this
dude,
is
I
madness.
have to, dude. I
Just-
have to.
Just take my word for it, bro. It's real. Source, trust me, bro.
Like, I've played enough of those games to. There's a new game coming out, dude. It was. Oh wait, no, there's not.
It's fake, dude. They always announce like a fake new game, dude. They've been announcing a new Sly Cooper game on the internet for like the last 5 years.
They were going to make Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. Sucker Punch is still around. Sanzuru Games was going to make the Sly Cooper. They made the Sly Collection. They did the compilation. They also did the Spyro compilation too. And yeah, Sony still owns. Sony owns Sly Cooper. Sucker Punch has first rights to make a game, and they're still around. They made Infamous, and let's see, they made something really big recently. Ghost of Tsushima. That's what they made.
Yeah, dude.
That was their most recent one. And they had a Sly Cooper referencing ghosts, dude.
Yeah,
Sly Cooper still. They love it, man. They know where their bread was buttered.
Right, bro. They don't.
Yeah,
They don't dislike it.
Don't slander Sucker Punch like that, dude.
I'm throwing it out there. They want nothing to do with Sly Cooper anymore. They're just throwing out references. I'm just putting that out as facts, bro. Trust me. Yeah. It seems like they're doing a complete like different direction with that entire franchise, though. Like with like animation, more of a children's game. And some people say that's kind of why the franchise died in the first place, because like basically games had moved on to a more mature audience at that point, where people are playing more Call of Duty and stuff, and they're like, they looked at like Sly Cooper as like, oh, that's what my little brother plays, and this was like 12-year-olds.
The third game had like 8 out of 10s though. It was reviewed very well.
Yeah, it reviewed well, it played well, but like it just didn't grab an audience because it was just people were kind of disparaging it as like a little kids game, even though it's just a fun game. Like I don't know, there's nothing
disparaging it as a little kids game.
No,
It sold incredibly well.
No. The third game?
Chip math, dude. Chip math. That's what I'm calling it now, dude. Chip math. That game was weird because it came with 3D glasses.
Yeah, in the manual. You had to buy it new, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's just
You should be like the raccoonist. Get the thieviest raccoon.
I think you're discounting how well Sly Cooper did, dude.
I think it's like their 10th anniversary this year or something, right? I think that's this year.
Might be more than that because I think it came out in 2005 or something like that.
Maybe it's 20 years. Is it 20 years old, dude?
Close to their 20, yeah. Let's see when the first game came out.
Let's get a raccoonist anniversary shout out, dude.
That game came out in 2002. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
boo.
20 year
20 years.
anniversary this year. Yeah.
Maybe they'll do something to remember the Sly Coon, dude.
Let's I think that was a slip of the tongue, but yeah.
No, bro.
No,
It's a
no,
rap-
no, 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 it was. I'm not trying to.
No, that's put it out there. Maybe I'll
God damn
get a
it,
little
God damn it,
animation. This is why I'm blocked, dude.
But this is why this man's blocked. I just, but yeah, no. I don't know how we got on Sly Cooper. Did you just bring it up randomly?
No, we're talking about
Not
like
even what the fucking pod is
developers
about
not
today.
understanding
What the
like
hell are we talking
the franchises they're working on,
Oh, okay.
and like the
Okay.
third game just like took like such a weird take on the entire franchise where it felt like they really hadn't thought like you said like
I think they did because the first game you were just Sly Cooper. The next game you were the other two team members. So I can't remember off the top of my head right now. And then the third game you were the entire band of thieves
through time
doing things. So I mean, like
you get to play different raccoons through time like a
it was
samurai
definitely
one.
like a gradual build.
Yeah.
I feel
It just left
I
off
thought
like
it was a
on a
natural progression. I thought that the like lack of true Sly focus like made me kind of bored of it, because I liked just the pure like stealth of Sly Cooper, but I thought the game
I don't know. It was like the turtle's girlfriend, whatever her name was, like betrayed the turtle dude, like out of nowhere. She's just like, I'm now evil, dude. And like she's just like straight up became evil out of nowhere. Like Sly's Fox girlfriend, the French police officer lady, she like just betrayed him out of nowhere. He got left in Egypt out of nowhere, dude. It just felt like they left a lot of cliffhangers, a lot of unanswered questions. Like again, like they're probably setting it up for a cartoon series or a movie, right? Where it's like all this will be explained, in the background later on, or if there's another game, you'll figure it out then. But it just left too much to it.
Okay, so about the Sly movie, okay, so Uncharted did very well.
Yeah, very well.
Sly Cooper, yeah, it was one of the biggest movies of the year last year, actually. But Sly Cooper is rumored to be after the Twisted Metal series. So Twisted Metal is getting a TV series starring Anthony Mackie, which he's not going to play Sweet Tooth, right? Is he? He has to, like in terms of like, is he going to be Outlaw? Because Outlaw canonically wins the tournament. So
you do like a Mad
but...
Max Fury Road style thing. You start with Outlaw and introduce all the other.
Right. Like I don't think I could see Anthony Mackie as a bad guy, or anti-hero type or whatever. I think Sweet Tooth, he's a
I think everybody in that game was evil, right? There's not like a there's no heroes.
It'd be dope if he was Mr. Grimm, just riding a motorcycle throwing skulls at people, killing them. That'd be pretty cool. But at that point, you're just Ghost Rider without the flames, right?
This is a TV show they're trying to do with Twisted Metal?
Yeah, they're doing a TV show of Twisted Metal, yeah.
The hell?
It's
all right.
Death Race, I guess, or I don't know.
Mad Max.
But yeah, but getting back to the point, Uncharted did very well for Sony. The Ratchet and Clank movie did okay, but they clearly didn't have a grasp of
critically panned, right?
Yes, they didn't have a grasp of what made Ratchet and Clank, and it was clear as day. But Uncharted, say what you will about it, be like how good of a movie it was, but I think they grasped what made those games fun, like in story wise, right?
I finally watched Sonic 2 before I was talking about.
I haven't watched it yet.
What? You haven't watched? How, dude?
It's still in theaters, dude. I pandemic plus kids. It's like
that's fair.
Yeah. I haven't even seen Doctor Strange 2 yet, dude. Like that's the one I'm gonna see before anything. So we'll see. But so Sly Cooper is on the is on the board. Sly Cooper's like next up, which it's already like tailor made for a kids movie. I think they could do well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What
I'll say this for people in the podcast and you. Sonic 2, if you're going to watch it, I'd say watch 1 right before you watch 2, because they just kind of like flow right into each other. It's like it almost picks up right where the
immediately.
And it's good. It all flowed really well. It was good. It just lacked the little whatever for greatness, but it was really good. Like it suffered from this movie was setting up for another third movie already, type of thing.
Okay. Okay, sequelitis.
Yeah, it's a sequel problem.
figured
it wasn't
would,
like
and
a
I'm okay
cliff.
with that.
It's not like a cliffhanger, but like they just kind of like set up like a bunch of threads where they're like, "This is to be continued, bitch. Deal with it."
Okay.
And like I said, it flows so nicely from the first one to the second one. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right with it.
The Sonic movies have from day one been pegged to be a 3-movie series.
All right, this could be like a 7-8 movie series, dude. Like I think it's that good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
like everything was solid. Like they didn't like fumble anything. Like writing was solid. The plot was interesting enough. Like
yeah.
Jim Carrey was amazing in it,
Of
as
course
always.
he was.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Yeah. Dude's fantastic. Yeah, dude. Okay. Let's go. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'll definitely see it if as soon as it comes on stream. Like my kids really want to see it too, and my kids are at an age where they will sit and watch a movie, but I could not take them to a movie theater.
yeah.
There's no.
You don't
way.
want to be that guy. You're not that
wanna
guy.
be that guy.
Bringing screaming children
There's
to a
a
movie
fucking
theater.
kid, like going back to Evil Dead, right? When the Evil Dead reboot came out in 2013, I want to say, I saw that in theaters first weekend, and it was myself, my now wife, my 2 brother-in-laws, and my wife's. Let me think. Yeah. So where we were sitting, like below us, like we were, how movie theaters are like. There's the middle row, then there's the upper deck, and then there's the lower deck with the lower seats or whatever closer to the screen. So we were like front row of the upper deck, right? So we were like basically smack dab in the middle. In the front row, bottom left corner, dude, there was, I kid you not, like a 6-year-old kid watching the fucking Evil Dead. Like, what are you doing as a parent, dude? Like, what the fuck?
I feel like we lost a lot of that grit in this country, dude. Yeah, as a society,
bring kids to these horrible horror
bring
movies.
a kid to like watch Die Hard or something, dude. Like watch RoboCop, bro. Like this movie's brutal, and like people are like, "Well, bros, bring our kids to this." And like, how did that series become a children's?
RoboCop got rebooted to a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, dude. Like this thing used to be a hard R, dude. And then they're like, "Oh, we want to sell toys, though." And like, but you watch that first movie, people are getting squibbed out of their minds, like just fake blood packs popping off everywhere, dude.
Fucking
nuts.
The chemical vat that the dude's like melting and gets hit by the car and just explodes. Yeah, that movie's fucked up, dude.
Look at like Batman, dude, with like a Joker getting his face melted off.
Yeah. I was gonna say his penguin's death scene where he's coughing up that black shit. Like, what is happening?
I mean, that happened with the second Batman movie or the first one, where the parents and kids like protested.
That's the second one. That's the second one.
Yeah, they're like, this movie's too hardcore.
Yeah,
you're putting the McDonald's toys meals. Think of the children.
The big thing was like it was screened, and Catwoman gets thrown out of the window by Christopher Walken to her supposed death, but the cat save her. That was like a big thing. They're like in the first 10 minutes of this movie, this man throws a woman out of the window to her presumed death. Like, I'm not taking my kid to this. And then a kid came out. He's like, that movie really scared me. I didn't like it. But you could tell his mom was just fucking feeding him lines like, fuck you. Batman Returns was great. Eat a dick, kid. I'm gonna go back to fucking 1989 or 1990, whatever Batman Returns came out, and tell that kid to eat a dick.
Yeah, change the whole course of human history.
At that point, I was like 1, like 0, like I was just born, or I was 1 whenever Batman Returns came out.
Negative, dude. Just a twinkle in the eye, dude.
And exactly. But I mean, I just watched Batman Returns on TV as a kid. I don't think we watched it.
Children crying in the theater, dude, with their Evil Dead movie.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm like, the fuck is happening? So I forget my whole point, but
just don't bring your kids to the theater. You're ruining it for everybody.
Yeah. That's right. My kids cannot go to the theater, even if it's a movie they like. Like if it's a kids movie, I'm like, I like movies too much to take my kids to the movie theater
to ruin it for other people.
To ruin it for me, because I couldn't pay attention to movies. I'm dealing with them.
Nothing's worse than a kid in the movie theater unless it's your own kid. Is that the ultimate box of
No, you can stop right there. Nothing's worse than a kid in a movie theater.
Yeah, unless it's all right, fair.
Yeah.
I used
if
to
my
go
kids
to
can sit still, sure.
I used to go to the movies solo, bro, by myself. I'd just be like, hey man, it's the middle of the weekend, middle of the day. Everybody's busy or at work or something, but I have like weird weekends off. I'm gonna go see some movies, dude. So I'd be like going to the movie, 10, 11, the first showing. I used to do that up until like I go to this movie. I forget which one, dude. It was so long ago now. And like it's, first showing, 10 o'clock. I'm the only dude in there. I'm like, all right, great. I have like my little popcorns and snacks, and then
Yep.
get the good seats. Whole movie theater myself. Right as the movie like previews start going, another dude just shows up. Just another dude rocking it solo. Middle of the day comes up and just comes in, walks up, and just sits right next to me. Dude. Like I'm like, we're in an empty theater, and like you just sit right next to me. Like after that, I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to the
That's
theater in the middle of the
hilarious.
day. I was like, this guy's a weirdo.
Man.
I was like, I'm done with the theater in the middle of the
To
day.
wrap this up, that moment Chip decided not to go back to that movie theater, the man put his hand on his thigh and asked for some popcorn.
It's like, hey, let me get some of that popcorn, bro. I'm like, yeah, all right. Yeah, we dated for like 10 years after that.
right. Oh, it's magical. Oh man, but yeah, dude, I think that's on that note. I think that's our time.
All right, y'all.
So yeah. Any final thoughts on the Square Enix acquisition? Or
I think trying to make a quick buck on NFTs and like trying to make an even quicker buck on selling off like some of your beloved franchises after like milking them dries. It'll work. I mean, especially like quarterly thinking. I think that's what most businesses do now. They just think quarterly. They don't think long term. I think everybody had like a downturn year, like the last couple of years.
last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, and like so, it's easy to like see where you're at and be like, oh yeah, we still need like 2-3 years of development for anything like the Western studios are working on. Let's just offload it, like because we're just going to be counting those as losses. Let's just count as a big win. Very short term thinking. You don't sell the golden goose that lays the golden eggs, man. You're like, we're keeping the golden eggs, have the goose. So I don't know. I think again, like their NFT thinking also seems to be very, very short term. I don't think they're worried about a digital ledger and like building a better distribution platform. I think they're just selling JPEGs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But who knows like what they're actually thinking behind the scenes, but like just speculation from the outside looking in. That's what it seems like. It doesn't seem it seems strategic short term for financial gain. Seems very poor strategic long term planning for building out like a good suite of video games.
I think I think you hit the nail right there, saying it's strategic short term. I think also that it's weird because Japanese developers are famously pretty xenophobic. Fighting game community being a big example that for the longest time Japanese devs would not use rollback because it was not made by a Japanese company. I think it was Arc System Works who were the first ones who just jumped in and said, all right, we're doing it. Oh no, it wasn't them, it was someone else. Capcom made their own, which shit the bed. They actually licensed it for Street Fighter Third Strike and I believe Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Maybe not. It's been a while. But Third Strike for sure had true rollback with GGPO.
The netcode was
Street Fighter 2 the remake, HD remake used rollback. So I think that was the first game, and I think Capcom was the ones who did it. Who did license the GGPO framework. So, they finally got their head out of their ass, and a lot of these devs are using it now, but they could have been using it 10 years ago. Like that's the crux of the issue. And I think that like RPGs are at a point where Western RPGs were outselling JRPGs, and
that was one of the reasons why they bridged the gap with Square Enix. They're like, hey man, you guys want to take a crack at like making some Western RPGs for us?
Yeah, exactly.
And like
all those like Human Revolution from it.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of horror stories as well. Like if you go back and like look at the archives of like the Western developers trying to work with like the Japanese developers, where they would send over a team from Japan to be like,
it's too hard.
Yeah, like we're just gonna there's like a translation. There's like different managerial styles. There's different like work styles. So I'm hoping that overall this is just wins all across the board for everybody. Like
I think having these franchises come back and potentially make new games in the end is a good thing. We'll see what the new publisher wants, what if their new devs handling it wants. But
like even just like if they wanted to do like entertainment franchises, like I wouldn't mind like a Deus Ex like TV show or like
I kind of would.
legacy Netflix anime,
Yeah.
dude. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I think there's a lot you can do with it outside of just the video game space.
True.
I'm excited as well. Like you said, like what these developers will do now that the chains are kind of cut loose and they have to like try and go for a big Tedpool. I'm
Yep.
hoping they're not like short-term thinking like we talked about last podcast of like betting the farm on like, oh, this square like this
Yeah.
new legacy game needs to hit big or we're closing down the studio. I don't want to see any of that.
Have modest expectations. If you get great results, great. If not, you
Yep.
get your modest results, make another one.
Yeah,
Like,
test the water
like game franchises. Like I'll even use like the Legacy of Kain series as an example. It was never like this AAA banger of a release that everyone in the world played and that no one could stop talking about, right?
It was the Living Dead of video games, dude. It was the Bruce Campbell.
It had a very like niche audience from the beginning and just a rabid niche audience, like
Yeah.
you don't have to shoot, guys. You don't have to shoot for the widest demographic of all time. Everyone wants to make $1 billion, dude. I'm okay. Like $1 million's okay.
A couple
like
million.
if the studio like working is like the main thing, like in the game industry, if you are working and you are making money making video games, you're doing the damn thing. Just leave it at that. You don't need to make the next fucking greatest selling game of all time. If that's your goal, go for it. But you're gonna lose some soul along the way, dude. That's all it is. So yeah, I'm hoping for a new game of all of these franchises that got sold. So we'll see. We'll see.
The Renaissance is coming, gentlemen.
Yes,
and
yes,
ladies.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. So that is the podcast. I am Mr. Gimpy. It's Chipped Monk. And we'll see you guys next week. Like, share, subscribe. We're out of here.
Peace.